Worst matchups. Need a really good hand to beat them. Innervate's a good start. Wild Growth helps a bit. Oh shit, we got the turn 1 Astral Communion. The Dream is alive, and he went with turn 1 Leopardome. We can hero power that. This is so sick. Not only is it a turn 1 Astral Communion, but we're pitching some sketchy cards like Wild Growth and Wrath. That's important too. When you're playing that Astral Communion, you want to be thinking about what cards you're discarding and what cards are left in your deck. So there's one Innervate left in my deck, that's a disaster draw. Losing a Wild Growth and a Wrath feels pretty good. Ooh, that's scary. Uh-oh. Alright, I still could hit Innervate plus Wrath off of this. Nope, did not get there. Button was green. Raven Idol can get healing spells. So if I keep a Raven Idol, I have 5 mana to spend. I can Raven Idol first and see if I want to go with Ironbark. Force of Nature clears. Ironbark is worse than clearing. Mark of the Wild would be nice, but I think it's more important to clear here. Is it better to cycle Wild Growth or gain a life? I think it's better to cycle Wild Growth. Plenty of second to spare. This next turn is Doomhammer. I'll want to put a taunt in the way. Nice, we have some healing. That's super good. I'm going to go with the high attack value taunt instead of the higher defense value. I'm going to clear this because of potential like Earthshock or Hex or something, and I think I can afford the life when I have an Ancient of War here. This guy just pressures him harder than the Ancient of War if he Earthshocks it and starts bypassing. I figure if he sinks 8 burn into it, I'm happy. And with 2 taunts in the way, it seems very unlikely he'll ever do anything, so just start killing him before he draws enough burn to kill me. Sure. Not very good sequencing. Easy lethal setup. It's happened once in 10 games? Yeah, but you admit that it happens, Night Insider. You admit that it happens. That's all that matters here. Let's ramp that Communion out. Come on, Innervates. Ooh, I'm feeling this Innervate. Oh, man. So I can turn 2, play one of these, turn 3, coin out Astral Communion. I guess this is better than Lemire. It's... Do you guys think I would have won that game if I went for the correct play on turn 3 or whatever? It was turn... yeah, it was turn 3. My turn 2 Wild Growth, turn 3 was either a Wrath or Astral Communion. So Sap is an important card for Rogue to beat me with. Alright, let's see how good his hand is and how good my draws are. Ooh. That's not very good for me. Ooh, that's a weak turn for him, so he's probably got a spell heavy hand. Let's clear his board. Chargers are good against Rogue. What you gonna do about that, buddy? Ice Howl. Wrecked. God, that's good. I really like timing people out. It makes me feel good. This is most useful for clearing things. This better fits in with my curve and might give me some prize lethals, allow me to play more aggressively. This is like kind of bad against rogue minions, so I'm gonna go with the aggression. And I think since I have 0 plays in hand, I draw rather than heal. I'm pretty close to healing. Like I wanted to heal, but then, you know, I drew nothing and I was worried about continuing to draw nothing. Like I have 2 innervates in my deck there. So if I heal and then I start drawing innervates, it's like super embarrassing. 21 life isn't that low when I have an Ice Howl for some pressure. Alright, he's using Burst on not my face. I can clear the board and develop a boom. Or I could just crack. No, this is a perfect Kraken target. But it's a perfect Kraken target. Let's get Kraken. How do I decide between discover a spell and discover a minion? Well, most of the time you want to discover a spell. Honestly, I just always discover a spell and don't think about it out of laziness because I'm not trying that hard. Holy shit, he's Milrogue. It's a really good thing I picked Savage Roar. Okay, we learned something here. Ice Howl not as good as I thought. Going face much better than expected. We learned something here. I'd like to use the Innervate to play 2 things in a turn, so maybe Keeper plus something. Concerned about getting cards out of my hand. I definitely like getting Dr. Boom out there a lot, because he's like less vulnerable to sap, and helps with the Savage Roars and such. Does my deck have relevant cards in it? It has Alexstrasza, that's a relevant card. The question about relevant cards is like, oh, Keeper's a relevant card because it can silence my Ice Howl. There's 1 Keeper in there. So there's Keeper, there's Alexstrasza. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna like discard this Wrath to get a card out of my hand. Good old Milrogue versus Kraken Druid, a standard Hearthstone Legend match. I think Boom's bad versus Vanish. I think it's alright versus Vanish. Vanish is a beating regardless. Hit him. Because the thing is, like, a lot of times you have mana to play these boom bots and it's not a big deal. Could innervate hero power there, but my deck's less important now. Alexstrasza is not as important since he's taken a little bit more damage. And Keeper's not as important because I'm never playing that Ice Howl again. Gonna be playing Dr. Boom a lot, I expect. Or as much as I can before he kills me. We've seen 2 saps and 1 vanish, so we're getting there on dealing with his good cards. Taking Savage Roar is going to be a big deal for me. That's going to really help my chances of winning this game. I didn't need a lore. Is there anything in my deck I do need? Oh yeah, Alexstrasza. Well, the main thing I needed was him to not draw that Cold Light Oracle, because I think he kills me too quickly here. Yeah, I think I'm going to die too fast. He still even has a Vanish. That's alright. Cards in deck are like Wild Growth, Ancient of War, North Sea Kraken, nothing that really matters. Oh, and an Innervate. Innervate would be a nice card, but it's not worth pitching Innervate to get it. Yeah, I think I'm dead here. I think he's gonna kill me, not this turn, but the next. This turn, yeah, but I don't really have a lethal setup here. He's used both Shadow Steps. God bless him. Come on, deck. Ramp me. Yes. This is what we want. Oh, God. Ooh. Wasn't charging at me. Look for that Innervate. Next turn is Coin Communion. If it's not Coin Communion, whatever. Alright, let's see if we can do it this time. Sure. Keeper's useful for Sylvanas. Apart from that, it's not that important, and like it's really tough to find time to play cards in this deck. Multiple 7-drops in hand and a whole bunch more 7-drops in my deck. It was a weak turn for him. I think we might win one. The best pick here is Roar to make him think you discarded one lore when you communion. Ooh. I didn't think about that. What you pick to show him misleading information. That's pretty good. WTF was that bash? It was a tempo bash. He had no better developing play, and that's why he did it. Sure. Dr. Boom probably wins. Easy. Yeah, Boombot's always going to roll 4 there. Because this is one of those games for him, not me. Save the Innervate for when it does something more important than this. Maybe a Nourish Get in turn. This puts me to 19, this puts me to 14. That seems safe enough. The Gromach double Inner Rage would be just amazing, because how do you play Inner Rage in that deck, right? Dragons? Oh man, I wanted the Kraken lethal.